Why, hello there, everybody. How you doing today? It's me again. I wanted to show you all who exactly you're up against. This is the enemy. This is the one who's causing all the problems. This is Lucifer. This is the devil. And he's the one that's causing all the problems. You see, he wants control. He wants to be on top. He wants to be the numero uno. And he knows what it's all about. He knows it's not about titles. It's not about things. It's not about anything. What it is about is it's about relationship. And the devil knows it. You see, we are the only creatures that have relationship with each other. We have all different kind of relationships. We have business relationships, we have friendship relationships, we have intimate relationships. And you can only have that type of relationship with another human being. You can't have a romantic relationship with an animal. Now, you can love it, but a dog can love you back, but you cannot have the intimate kind of relationship with an animal. You certainly can't have it with an inanimate object. You can't have it with money. You can't have it with a car. No. It's all about relationships with other human beings. And the devil knows this. The devil, or Lucifer, knows exactly who you are. He knows that you are an individual. And he knows that if he can mess with your individual relationship that you have with Almighty God, because that's where it all starts at. If you have a good relationship with Almighty God, then you are going to have a good relationship with everyone else. You see, anyone, an individual who has a good relationship with Almighty God, knows that that's all that matters. Knows that the person next to him, they're not in competition with them. No matter what they say, do, think, or feel is not going to change their standing with Almighty God. So they're going to get along with everybody. They're not going to have any kind of desire to beat down or tear down anyone else, because they know that there's no one above them, there's no one below them, that it's just them and God. And a person with a good relationship with Almighty God only wants other people to have that very same relationship with Almighty God. And you see, that's a problem for the devil, because he is out of relationship with Almighty God. So he doesn't want you to have a relationship with Almighty God. He wants slaves. That's what he wants. He wants people to be slaves to his way of thinking. He does not want man to be in a good relationship with either Almighty God or even with someone else. No. He wants them in competition with one another. He wants you to believe that it's you against everybody else. And the simple way that he does this is, again, he just simply tells a big fat lie. And he tells man that, hey, there's a pecking order, There's a ranking system. There's somebody at the top and there's somebody at the bottom. And there's a whole bunch of people in between. There is a pecking order. And there is somebody at the top and there's somebody at the bottom, and the one at the top gets to decide where everybody else lies. You are all divided up into little bitty groups, and within every single one of these groups there is a ranking system. There is a pecking order. And until you get to the top of your group, you're not allowed to move over to the next group. And the next group doesn't want you to come into their group because they're too busy trying to be at the top of their group. So they're going to do everything they can to keep you in your group. So he's decided that, hey, the only way to move up the ranking order, the only way to move up the pecking order is according to my rules. And my rules say that it's all about how much money you have. Because if you want to move up the pecking order, if you want to move up the ranking, you got to get more money. And he wants you to be a slave to money when money doesn't do anything. Now, the easiest way for him to make more slaves is to take one slave who has agreed to play by his rules and put that one slave in what appears to be a position of authority as well as a position of power. And the simple way that he does this is he takes that one slave who, again, has agreed to play by his rules, saying whoever has the most money is the one that moves up the ranking order. So you take that one slave and you move him up to different ranking systems. You move him up the pecking order. You move him up from the top of one group to the next group to the next group, based all on how much money they have. Oh, and don't think for 1 second that the devil doesn't do this. He does it all the time. Because the devil could really care less about how much money you have or how little money you have. The devil's only concerned about one thing. The devil's only concerned about what you are doing with your life. He cares about what you're doing with what you got, whether it be a whole lot or or very little. He does not want you serving God. He wants you to be a slave to money. He wants you deceived. Because if he can get you even the slightest bit deceived, meaning you're just off course, just a hair, the longer that you are off course, if a ship is 1 degree off course, the longer that it's off 1 degree off course, the further away from its destination, or it's the destination that it's supposed to reach, it's going to be further away from. If a ship is even just 1 degree off, and it goes for 10 years, 1 degree off, it's going to be miles and miles and miles away from where it should be. That's why the devil wants you deceived. He wants you to believe that it's all about approval. Not Almighty God's approval, but the other people, the other slaves' approval. That you need the other slaves' approval to move out from one group into another group. So what you have now is you got all these people, because remember, in each of these groups, they have their own ranking system. There's their own pecking order. And until you get to the top of this group, you can't move over to this group. And until you get to the top of this group, you can't move over to this group. Now this group, what he's telling you is this group has enough people in it, so they don't want you in their group. So they're going to do everything they can do to keep you out of their group, because they have more money than you and they want to remain special. So not only are they going to be fighting against you, you're going to be also be fighting against everybody within your group just to get to the top of the group. Does that sound like harmony to you? He wants you to believe that you have to go up the ranking system. And the only way to do that is by getting more money, more power. He wants you to believe that in order to move up the pecking order, you must have everyone's approval. And the only way to get everyone else's approval is to have more money, to have more things, to have more stuff. And the only way to have more things and to have more stuff is to have more money. So what you end up doing is fighting over money. So now you're so far from a relationship, it's not funny. You're fighting over something that cannot even communicate with you. All to move up a pecking order. He knows that if you do this, you're going to be so unhappy. Because he knows that it's not about things, it's all about relationships. He knows that no matter how much perceived power you get, no matter how much stature you get, no matter how much money you get, you're always going to be unhappy. Because it's not about money, it's about relationship. So now you're a slave to money and all of the things that it can buy, except relationship, and except happiness, except peace. Now you're not going to have harmony or relationship with any other man, any other human being, because everybody else is competition to you. Everybody else. Now you're never going to be in harmony. You're never going to have any kind of either group or singular relationship, because again, you're convinced that it's you against the world. Now he's got you. Now you've got at least one, if not more, of these 7 deadly sins. You're constantly angry. You're constantly prideful. It sways deep and back and forth, and you don't have any happiness. You don't have any kind of relationship, because again, everyone's competition. Everyone's out to get what you have, and you have nothing except unhappiness. And this is all happening all because you're fighting over money. Folks, wake up. You are being lied to. You are not a slave. You were not created to be a slave. But you are choosing to be a slave. Because you are a unique, having no like or equal, unparalleled, incomparable. I want you to say it. I am unique. You are a unique, one of a kind individual who has a very distinct purpose, which means you have a reason for which something is done or created. You were a created individual. There is a reason for your existence. And the only way to find out that existence, or should I say the reason and the reason that you were created, the reason for your existence is this. You were created to be a servant of Almighty God. Wake up, folks. You are being lied to. It's not about fighting over money. It's not about things. It's not about fighting over stature, over rank, over pecking order. It's all about your relationship with Almighty God as and individual.